Welcome back to the videos, guys. This is episode 2 of LS Swapping our Honda. You asked for it. All of y'all voted, so I need you to show me some support. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get started on episode 2. Last time we left off, we were shaving down the engine bay, taking out everything that we did not need and also needed to get rid of to be able to fit this guy in there. What we're doing today is we're continuing that just a little bit, but we are also going to be going through our wiring. Some of the factory wiring I am going to be keeping and utilizing. That way we can retain our factory style gauge cluster. So if you guys don't know, I did an ID4 motion gauge cluster swap. I really want to keep that, and I really want the functionality of our electronic power steering, as well as like our speedometer and tach to all work on the gauge cluster itself. So in order to do that, I am going to have to keep some of the factory wiring, and also I want to keep the push to start. I mean, yeah, you have to turn the key before you push to start, but I'm going to keep that. My tangent threw me off. But anyways, we are going to go through the harness, label everything that we're going to be keeping, and we'll either have to rewire or just adapt a sensor to work with our LS. So the plan is to do that. I've also got it's like a speed sensor adapter. It interprets the signal from the T56, sends it up to the gauge itself, and I can use my phone to adjust the pulse that it is reading. That way the gauge can interpret the pulse and pulse width coming from the T56 VSS. So there's a lot. There's still quite a bit to do before this is in there. I will put a video up. We did test fit it to make sure that we had cut everything we needed out. And that's all good to go. So now we can go ahead, clean everything up, and get it ready for paint. So like I said, we're going to be removing everything we're not using. This guy is included. I will be getting a new coolant reservoir. I don't really care for this cheap $30 eBay one. It doesn't really fit the rest of what we're going for. This has been a project that everything has come out of my pocket, and I've kind of chose the best of what I can afford to go along with it. And so, like you'll see here soon, we've got Chase Bay's lines, Chase Bay's master cylinder. I'm going to run their coolant reservoir. Just really nice, high quality, good looking products that perform. And this isn't it. I'm sorry. Along with that, like I said, we'll be utilizing Chase Bay's master cylinder. We're not running their brake setup yet, but we will be running their clutch setup, and that is also going to be a upgraded or larger diameter bore. That way we can actually move the clutch. The factory S2000 master cylinder does not work for this setup. So we are running ACT pressure plate, clutch, and flywheel. It's rated for, I think, like 700 horsepower in torque. Not that we'll be anywhere near that, but I'd rather overkill and not go too aggressive, but have room to grow in the future if we choose to do so. And I'm almost positive that we will. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this out. The only thing in this corner that will be staying is the brake master cylinder and the brake booster. Everything else right here has got to go. So we've got most of the hardware cleaned out of here. We got the master cylinder for the clutch out. I do need to finish pulling the line, and I'll show you why. Whoever did the tuck on this hard-lined everything, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's going to make it a little bit more painful to get everything out the way that we want it. And then we are also going to be removing the battery tray that I half-assed in the corner. in exchange for probably a much nicer setup. And then after we do both of those things, we'll go to the harness, we'll pick this apart and figure out what we're going to be using and what we aren't. Hey, what's this? What is it?
A car?
Do you remember what it is though?
What type of car is it?
Daddy's.
Daddy's what?
S2000.
Say Daddy's S2000.
I will say, I wish everything was not self-tapered in on this car. Makes it a little bit more of a pain.
Daddy, do you have the baby ratchet?
Yeah, the 1/4 inch.
Yeah.
Yep. But, I mean, it looks nice when it's all tucked away, but it's not tucked away very well. So, that is something that we're going to be changing. This whole car is going to be different. Maybe eventually. You're coming?
You on your way?
All right. There's another one. Cheese. So, we've got most of everything out of, well, we do have everything out of that side. Most of everything out of this side. We did go through and rerun the latch for the hood. So now it's not just sitting across the engine bay. You gonna slide. You gonna slide, little dude. I think Justice is about to vacuum all that garbage up, and then we can go through and see what we need and what we don't out of that harness. So now we're gonna go through and get all this cleaned up. We're going to start by just kind of pulling around. For the most part, I know what we're going to need and what we're not. So like this guy here, this is gonna be trans harness side. This is gonna be, I believe, our speed sensor, so we will need this guy. One of these is going to be our O2 sensor, and we will not be using it. I do believe it's this one. So we won't be using this plug. And then one of these is going to be our reverse lights. And I think out of this, that's going to be everything we're using. What we're going to do now is we've got everything labeled that we're going to be needing. We're going to go through, cut off what we're not. So like this guy, this is a cam position sensor. We won't need him. These coil packs, I'm not sure if I want to cut them off because of the live wire that's inside of them. I probably can and would be just fine and just have to wrap it up, but I'm not going to do that just yet. The injectors, we can go ahead, we can get rid of the injectors as we will not be using these. We can clip all 4 of them off. And then we come up here. One of these is going to be our throttle position sensor, and one of these is a map sensor. We won't be using either of these 2 plugs, just our crank position sensor. So we can go ahead, trim those guys off. Austin, why are you cutting a perfectly good harness? This harness has been chewed up and gone through before. I'm not really stressing about it, and I don't need any of what's 90% of what's here. I don't need, so it doesn't bother me anyways.
Hey, careful.
This guy is your idle air control. So starting up on cold days, this helps the car. Won't be using this guy.
Nope.
Pretty much the only things I will end up using are going to be things that are going to help run the gauge and the gauge cluster. and then some power wires for the alternator and the starter. So this guy's good. We have our reverse and our VSS, our variable speed sensor. And then I believe both of these guys are O2 sensors. But until I confirm that, we're just going to leave this guy as is. So one of these guys, oh, this one, these are both the same plug. I am not 100% sure which one is the ECT sensor yet, so I'm going to leave both of those. One of them will get chopped off. This is our cylinder head ground. We will be using this guy. We come over here, we have our alternator positive. I'm pretty sure this supplies power to the body of the car, so we are going to be using that. The plug itself for the alternator, we will not be, so we can trim that guy off. And then I think that's all we're going to do for trimming on the engine harness for now. That we can just move out of the way. Everything else over here is going to be auxiliary and mostly like emissions stuff. So we will get rid of all of the junk that's here in this corner and get it tossed in the garbage pretty much. This is just going to be a bunch of clutter, not really anything I am going to use for the swap. So we've got most of the wires taken care of. A couple of them I'm going to wait until the rest of the car's put together, just to make sure I'm using the right ones. What we're going to do now, just while I'm thinking about it, we're going to take our master cylinder here. We're going to match it up with the length that the S2000 one is. It'll make putting it in a lot easier. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just going to make life easier when we go to put this guy into the car.
Yeah, what he said.
As you can see, it's just a little bit longer, so we're going to take some of the length out of that rod, tighten it up, and then this guy will be good to go, and we'll just set it off to the side and forget about it until the engine bay is all painted. We now got that pretty dang close. That's going to be where we leave it for the moment until we get in the car and find out if we need to make any adjustments for the actual throw of this into the slave cylinder. But now we can set this guy off to the side. We know about where it needs to be. What are you doing? You hanging out? Yeah, that's good. What you got in your mouth? A sucker? Oh, we're also taking the heater hoses off. We won't need them for the moment. And then
Easier to paint.
I think I'm going to try and pull the harness through the firewall, make sure that we get as much of this out as we possibly can so we can get a nice good spray on it. So there's not going to be a break for you guys in the video, but we did just live stream. And so if you were part of that, thanks for hanging out with us. It's fun. Yeah. It's fun being on a more personal level.
That was fun.
Did you enjoy it?
New subscribers.
Did you enjoy the live stream?
Did you have fun?
Hi.
Can you say hi?
Hi.
Say, have a good day.
Okay.
Have a good day.
We're not done. We're not done. Let's show you what we did. So during the live stream, we started scuffing up the engine bay. There's still some stuff we need to grind down a little bit more. We are going to pull the harness through, at least try to get it into the passenger's or the driver's seat and get it out of the way. And so pretty much the only thing that's going to be left in here is going to be the fuel rails, the subframe, steering rack, and the brake master and booster. So everything else will be all gone as it is. And then the harness will be in the driver's seat. Also, I do need to replace this brake line. I nicked it when I was cutting out this massive crossbar. So that's on the list of things to do.
Yeah, all of that. Oh, and we taped up the wiring harness. And by we, I mean me. I taped up the wiring harness.
Yeah, you can't really tell from right here.
You can kind of see the new tape, actually.
But,
just all the pieces that Austin just cut off.
yeah, just kind of cleaned it up a little bit. And then I took some more stuff out of the fender well that we're not going to be using. So that's much better. Huh.
So clean. Do you have those vice grips or the wire cutters? You got a little... What are you doing?
I got a little.
You got a little wire hanging out of here. I didn't know you were recording me.
A welding pube.
Welding pube.
I didn't mean to have my welding pube hanging out like that on the chat.
What are you doing?
I'm just recording.
You're recording me trying to clean this out, like grunting?
Yeah.
It's a little bit difficult to do it while I'm leaning over it.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Look at my towel. It's dirty. Don't zoom in on whatever. Is there something on my face? Do I got a black mark on my face?
So I've now pulled the carpet up. It's pulled back quite a bit. We're gonna go through on the other side and gently massage the harness back through and get that all connected. That way this is tucked away like we said. We can go through, clean it all off, hose it down, get it ready for paint. And then once that's done, we'll pull it back through, get it all nice and pretty, set up and ready for the engine to be permanently mounted in the car. Harness is now right where we want it, tucked in the driver's seat, which leaves our engine bay, other than a very couple of minor things, it's all good to go. We will just kind of wrap up the subframe and wrap up the steering rack itself. And that'll be good to go. This will all get painted to match the same silver that's on here now. And we'll have a nice fresh engine bay with a harness that's been trimmed and then a new harness, obviously, when we get the Haltech system. That's going to be what we go with to run the LS. Biggest reason I went with Haltech is their ID7 display. If we can't get this display to work, which I'm 95% positive I'll be able to do so, then Haltech makes a really pretty display that I would be happy to go with. And it comes with a pre-built harness, so it takes a lot of the guesswork and pain out of it. What are you doing? You what? What'd you say?
Mommy, sit there.
Remy's sitting there. Is Remy a big dog? So yeah, we got quite a bit done in this video. We got the engine bay mostly taken care of, a couple odds and ends, but for the most part ready to go. We test fit the motor before the video because I'm impatient.
I have some videos of that though.
Yeah, we'll put some videos of it in, but it's not like this. It's not one-on-one.
It does fit though.
It does fit. It fits pretty well. There's actually still a lot more room left in it than I would have anticipated. Without further ado, everybody, thank you all for watching. I will catch you next time.
See you.
Thank you all for hanging out on the live stream if you participated in that.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out. It was a lot of fun.
Yep. Like, comment, and subscribe. Help the build. Help us. Help you with content that you guys want to see. Paisley, can you say peace? Say bye.
Say goodbye, everyone.
She likes her watermelon. I will catch you next time. Stay tuned for episode 3 on the S2000, which hopefully we'll be putting it in by then. Okay, bye.